For Marcello and his wife Susanna, afternoons spent with their children and grandchildren are more of a distraction than a pleasure these days. They're among the 25,000 Roma living in Sweden. And they're among the 5,000 who have been included in a secret police registry of Roma without their knowledge.
They said it was a registry of criminals, but that would mean all Roma are criminals. Me, even our children, even our youngest grandchild, who's only 2 years old. She's supposedly a criminal, when she doesn't even know what that is.
12 years ago, Roma were officially recognized as a minority in Sweden, just like the Sami and the Finnish-speaking minority. But Roma still have a difficult time. Susanna says it's not easy for them to find jobs.
When you apply for a job, you still can't let them know that you're Roma. Here in Sweden, Roma tend to have names like Taikon or Dimitri, and it's hard for them to find a job, even now. It's not right that people have to lie and deny being Roma. It shouldn't be like that.
The secret police registry of Roma in southern Sweden was exposed a few weeks ago by a major daily newspaper. It turns out there are only a few criminals on the list, but their circle of friends and family has also been carefully listed. That's exactly the argument the Swedish police is now using to justify its actions, saying that the Roma registry isn't actually a list of Roma. Peter Springere heads the serious crime squad in the city of Örebro. He's a vehement defender of the secret data collection. He says such lists are a normal part of investigative work and that it's just a coincidence that only Roma are listed.
People are asking how it's possible that only Roma are listed in this registry, but for me, that's nothing unusual. If you're investigating a criminal network of Roma, then it's normal that only Roma are listed. We use this data for our intelligence needs.
But Springere can't really explain why the list includes women and small children. And the country's integration minister isn't satisfied with the explanations the police are giving. To Erik Ullenhag, the registry is illegal because it's based on ethnicity.
3 weeks ago, if you'd asked me if I believed that Swedish police had a registry based purely on ethnicity, I'd have said no. I was angry and sad when I found out that it does exist. The Roma have been listed in such registries in the past. It's a huge setback for integration efforts, though we don't want to use the word integration since the Roma are a national minority. They've been part of Swedish society for 5 centuries.
A part of society that nonetheless has always been on the fringes, especially in rural Sweden. In those picture book Scandinavian landscapes, Roma families have been shunned and persecuted for centuries. They've never been welcome here. Even in progressive Sweden, prejudices run deep and last for generations.
The Swedes saw themselves as the whitest of the whites in Europe and the whole world. This unique feeling of racial purity has led to their doing everything in order to maintain it.
So-called race research was carried out in Sweden during the last century. A race biology institute at the University of Uppsala researched supposed racial characteristics. The university library's digital archive still has photographs displaying allegedly typical Roma characteristics. Tobias Hübinette has studied Sweden's treatment of minorities. He says that much of this racist ideology lives on today, even though the research is no longer carried out.
The authorities have tried to keep the Roma as separate from the ethnic Swedes as possible. They removed children from Roma families and started forced sterilization of Roma. They did everything to keep Roma children out of schools and away from medical care and all the other public services that developed in the Swedish welfare state in the 20th century. We shouldn't forget that up until the 50s and 60s, this group was deliberately discriminated against.
Roma have been holding demonstrations across the country in recent days. They're protesting against the police registry and against the discrimination they still face. Marcello and his family are now calling for a special investigation into the matter. They say it should be independent to prevent the police from covering anything up.
We have to find out the real reason for the registry, how extensive it is, and who else has one. We have to make sure these lists don't exist. We have laws forbidding them.
I don't trust the police at all anymore. I'm offended and saddened, and I'm scared. It's very difficult because we can't feel safe. It makes us very sad.
They point out that Sweden has the rule of law, so they hope that one day soon they'll be able to go to a playground with their children and grandchildren and feel like normal Swedish citizens.